Today we're going to be starting in the mini course, Mastering the Use and Purpose of Addenda in Construction Management. Hi, my name is Cory Fisk, and I'm the founder of Construction Management Online. Today we're going to be talking about addendas and addendums. So addendum is singular, addenda means many. But the main point to get across is that this is a document that's going to show up before the contract has been approved and awarded. So this is going to be in the pre-construction estimating phase when we're going to see an addendum or addenda appear. And so today for our learning objectives, what we want to be taking out of this class is learning what addenda are, their purposes, and how they differ from other change documents. Understand the role of addenda during the bidding process and how bidders should respond. Discover the significance of an addenda in contracts and best practices for documentation, and get practical advice on tracking, organizing, and implementing addenda effectively. So in section 1, Introduction to Addenda. So what is an addendum? It's going to be something that clarifies, modifies, or adds to the bidding documents, and it's going to issue and ensure that all parties have the most current project information. So this is going to go out to everyone on the bidders list so that everyone has the exact same information, so we're bidding apples to apples. The purpose of the addenda clarifies details in the bidding documents. It modifies existing specifications, and it could also include new information or requirements. So the one thing to really recognize about addendums and addenda is that they never come at the right time. So there typically is a 72-hour restriction that you cannot provide addenda information after 72 hours to the bidding date. That means that we have up until that time to be able to analyze information and make sure that we can have thorough opportunity to determine everything that's been added in the addenda so that we can make sure that it's been included in the estimate. Because once our estimate is approved and we have committed to the dollar amount that we're going to produce this project for, everything in the addenda is going to become part of the contractual requirements. So this is really important to understand because there are times when an addenda might be 1 or 2 pages. It makes it very simple to be able to go through the drawings and the specifications and identify and switch out any corrections or new information that's been provided by the architect in the contractual documents. This is mostly because they did not have time to be able to put those modifications or new corrections in the revised set of drawings before they were released for bid. However, we often find that in those last critical 4 weeks of bidding, the architect was trying to smash everything into the drawings and didn't have enough time to really go through and detail and clarify everything that they were putting into the documents. So this addenda is a compilation of the last 4 weeks of the architects working really hard to try to make sure that the drawings and specifications are as thorough and as clean as they can be before the actual bid is submitted and the contract is approved. So when we can know and understand that, we can start seeing how an addenda could have a huge impact on the bidding process. So when we're issuing an addenda, it's typically going to be issued during that bidding process to ensure fairness and clarity. It's important for all bidding parties to have updated information. And it's going to be important for bidders to acknowledge that they've received the addenda and have incorporated that into their bids. And then we're going to adjust cost estimates and project timelines as necessary associated with the new information that we've received on those bids. So managing the addenda in contract documents. This is really important to understand that now it's part of our living document. So these contractual significance of an addenda is going to become part of the construction contract, which means that all parties who are signing that contract are now going to be binded to those updated terms. This is going to mean that we're going to be adding and documenting the addenda throughout all of the documents where it is identified modifications and changes. And we're going to ensure correct referencing throughout the project lifecycle. So it is really important to take this seriously at the very beginning of the project. You don't want to be 3 weeks in and all of a sudden decide to start updating your as-built on your specifications and contract drawings, including information on the addenda, and then find out that you have a big miss that's going to cost your company thousands of dollars. And so this all needs to be done as thoroughly as possible. But as I said before, you could have a 1 or 2 page, or you could have a 1 or 2 inch addenda to have to go through. That's not very fair to contractors. And so it is something that we don't want to do. Sometimes there's, rumor mill that they do it on purpose so they can sneak some last minute things in. But it really is a disadvantage to both the owner and the contractor and even the architect. So not having clear, defined information in the addenda and having it presented in a way that's easily understood and easily gone through by the contractor and is able to be quickly assessed and analyzed by the contractor is going to be critically important. And so this is going to be something you want to do at the very beginning of your project so you can start your project off on the right foot. In section 4, we're talking about practical tips for handling the addenda. Again, having effective management and communication is going to be key. We're going to want to be tracking and organizing these different changes that have occurred, and whether or not there's going to be credits that now need to go back in the form of a change order, or if there's going to be cost or time impact change orders generated from the movement of things in the addenda. So let me explain this for a second. There are often times when an addenda, because it is put together so last minute and is packaged so quickly, that it can overlap a lot of things that are already in the contract documents. And so someone will add something and forget to remove it in the contract documents, or something will be clarified in the addenda, but there's not enough clarity in the drawings to be able to support that new piece of equipment or that new design that was provided. And so there may be a miss between what the addenda is asking for and what the original contracts were indicating that will require a change order for additional time and money to be able to address that new issue that has come about because of changes identified in those contract drawings. We're going to want to make sure that we've communicated that with all stakeholders, because a lot of times subcontractors might be being fed only pieces of information out of the addenda, and that we can't possibly be aware of how the entire addenda might impact their scope of work. So we want to make sure that everyone is on the same page and has the most current revised set of drawings to be working off of at all times through the entire project. We're also going to want to continually review and implement So we're going to be reviewing the addenda and identifying anything in it that might have future implications on the project. We're also going to implement changes in our project plans. Specifications very well could also mean changes in our schedule. And we're going to look at execution strategies that we're now going to use to be able to define our delivery method and means and methods necessary to be able to take care of this new scope of work. So in conclusion, you now have a comprehensive understanding of what an addenda is in construction projects. This is going to provide you with the knowledge base necessary to manage an addenda effectively, ensuring that your projects reflect the most up-to-date requirements and specifications. Your ability to handle an addenda with clarity and precision will foster transparent communication and alignment among project stakeholders, paving the way for successful project completion. So thank you for joining us with this mini course. If you do have any questions, just reach out to us at Skillbuilder, and you can email us at contact@constructionmanagementonline.com.